Hello friend, in today's video we will learn how to create a project for a Braille person by using a Raspberry Pi. As you know, Braille pattern is like this. For A there are 6 switches and first switch is press. For B there are again 6 switches and first and second switch is press. And this is a pattern for the Braille person. We will simulate this pattern on Raspberry Pi. So you can see in our Raspberry Pi project there are 6 switches and each switches correspond to this pattern. So let's say if any braille person press this first switch and last switch, then a keyword will be tell by Raspberry Pi. So we will create this type of project. So first see the what will be the final output of this project. So when you run this code, you can see welcome message printed here and give input message also printed here. So give input means the Raspberry Pi wants some input from these switches. So let's say you want to say Z key Z word from Raspberry Pi. So you have to press first, third, fifth, and sixth switch. So you have to press first, then third, then fifth and sixth. After that you have to press this switch. So once you press this switch, you can see Z keyword is
Z,
printed here, and it will give output
Z,
like this. Now let's see the next time if you want to print the A, or if you want if Raspberry Pi want to say A, when you press the first switch, then again go to our project, press first switch and press the last switch. Once you press last switch, you can see character speak is A, and after that you can see
E,
A keyword say by the Raspberry Pi.
E, E,
So in this way you have to simulate all the keyword from Raspberry Pi after giving the input from each and every switches. So the basic idea behind this, we have to first simulate, you have to first create switches like this, and after that we have to give input to Raspberry Pi by pressing one by one switch. But after you press one by one switch, you have to tell Raspberry Pi to speak that word. So that we have added the extra switch here. So once you press this extra switch, then automatically input whatever the input generated from this switch automatically tell by the Raspberry Pi. So we will see how to create this type of project in ProTest also. You can use this project on hardware also. Okay, before starting this project, you have to first install this text-to-speech library in Proteus software. This library, text-to-speech library in Proteus software. So if you want to install this text-to-speech library in Proteus software, you first require Python 3 in your laptop. So if you want to verify Python 3 install in your laptop or not, just type here Python. You can see Python 3.6 already present in my laptop, also Python 2. Python 2 also. So if you haven't installed Python 3 in your laptop, please watch my first video. In that video I have explained you how to install the Python 3, also Python 2 in laptop. uh, the video link given in description. So after you install Python 2, Python 3 in your laptop, just go to this. So after you install the Python 3 in your laptop, just go to this link, this location. C user Lino. This is my name. In this place you can have your name, then app data, then local program Python 3.6, and then script. In script you can see pipe 3 already present. So you require pipe 3 to install the library in Proteus software. So this how to install this pipe 3, how to install this Python already explained in video. Please watch that video. So after you see this Python 3, you can go to again one backside in Python. You can see this Python terminal also present. Now if you want to install this library, text to speech library in Proteus, just type cmd, then open command prompt, then type cd. After you type cd, give this path from your laptop. Let's consider this is my name Lenovo. In this place it's your name, your computer name. So then path will be the same. Then go to this path and enter here. So once you enter here, you can see we are inside Python 3. Now type pipe 3 install. Then after that you need to type this keyword gg, the g double ts. So once you type pipe 3 install GTTS, press enter. So once you press enter, you can see a package is already installed in my laptop. So you can see package. Once you install the package, you want to see this where that package is installed. Again, type this command. You can see the path present in that path. The package is installed. So path is Python 36 lib and site package. So in site package folder, we have already installed this. I have already installed this package. So go to that location. Python 3.6, then script, sorry, Python 3, then lib, and here site package. So this is the path that show here this library install. So you can see date mod, you can click on date modify, so you can get the modify files in your laptop in that date, latest date. So once that you can select these packages, all these packages GTT, then click, then request, then 6, then character, certify, all these packages you have to select. So you can see this 6, then GPIO, then GTT, this GTS request this, all this package install with after all this folder comes after I install this package. So you can this folder already name present in this window. So you can check one by one folder. So after that you copy, you select all this folder, copy that folder. Please follow this process very seriously because it is very complicated process, I know, but it's required to install any package in Python. So once you copy all this folder, go to C drive, then program files, then labs and electronics, then Proteus 8, then tool, then Python, then library. So inside this you have to copy whatever you selected folder, just paste that folder here. So once you paste that folder here, the already package get installed in your Proteus software. So once you install that package, now next part is we have to design this project in Proteus. So if you want to design this project in Proteus, open that Proteus 8 software, right click on this Proteus software, then run as administrator, click on yes. So you can see Proteus 8.9 version required to simulating Raspberry Pi project. So if you haven't installed Proteus 8.9 software yet, please install it. I have already explained how to install this software in my first video of Proteus 8. Please watch that video. The video link given in description. So once you open this software, click on new project, then give your project name. Let's say Braille. Then give the path. After that, click on next. Then select this create schematic, click on next, and select the do not create a PCB layout, click on next, create a firmware project, and then select the family Raspberry Pi and click on next and then finish. So once you click on finish, you can see there are two window open, source code and schematic capture. In schematic capture we will design our circuit. So first you need the LCD. So go to the component mode, then type go to the P and type here 16 cross 2. 16x2. Then after that select this LCD, click OK and place that LCD here. So once you place, you have to connect all these pin from that LCD to Raspberry Pi. So first connect RW pin to ground, go to the terminal mode, then ground and place that ground here and connect that ground to here. After that you require RS pin to connect GPIO4, then go to a terminal mode, then default and place that pin here. Right click on this pin, rotate anti-clockwise and place that pin in front of the RS pin, then connect that pin to RS pin, give a double click on this pin and give here name GPIO4, click OK. Then next part is you have to connect enable pin to GPIO17, then again go to terminal mode, then default, then connect this pin, right click on this pin, rotate anti-clockwise, place that pin in front of enable pin, then connect that pin here and double click on this pin, give here name GPIO 17. Then next part is we have to connect D4, D5, D6, D7 pin to 18, 27, 22 and 23. So that we have to select 4 pin at a time. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now select all these pin at a time, rotate anti-clockwise. Then place that pin in front of D4, D5, D6, D4, D5, D6 and D7. Now connect D4 pin to D4, then D5 to D5, D6 to D6 and D7 to D7. After that, double click on this pin and give here name GPIO 18. Then next pin D5, double click on this pin, give here name GPIO 27. Click on this, then click on next pin D6 and give your name GPIO 22. Then click on this pin and give your name GPIO 23. So successfully we have connected LCD with our Raspberry Pi. So before starting the next part of this session, I request you please subscribe my channel. You can see currently I have 249 subscriber, and in last 7 days there are 1.7k views on my channel, but subscriber only 35. So I request you please subscribe my channel. I require complete 1 day to create one video, and you just need 1 second to click on subscribe button, and once you click on the subscribe button it will motivate me. Also you can check my all the video based on the Raspberry Pi, and you can learn Raspberry Pi from A to Z. So like I have added the video also on IoT, video also on Proteus software, so it is very beneficial you also if you subscribe my channel. Now next part is we have to take the 7 switches. So go to the P mode, then click on P, component mode, then click on P, then type here switch. So once you type switch, you can see this switch need to be selected, then click on OK and place 7 switches at a time. So once you place the 7 switches, then you have to connect each switches with a Raspberry Pi. You can see these 6 switches act as a braille keyboard like this. There are 6 switches. Okay, now we have to connect these switches with Raspberry Pi. So last pin we have connected 23. Now next part is we have to connect 24 and 25 pin. So first switch should be connected to 24 number. Go to the terminal mode, then then select this default and place that default here. Now next default should be here, next default pin should be here, now next default pin should be here. Then place each default pin in front of each switches. After that connect that default pin with switch. So let's say first switch, now second switch, now third switch, now fourth switch, fifth switch, sixth and 7. After that you have to give first switch name to GPIO 24. So give your name GPIO 24. So this switch automatically connected to GPIO 24 number pin. So next second switch should be connected to GPIO 25. GPIO 25. Now next switch should be connected to GPIO 5. So give here name. Double click on this pin and give your name GPIO 5. Now this switch should be connected to GPIO 6. So double click on this switch and give your name GPIO 6. Then fifth switch should be connected to GPIO 12. So give your name GPIO 12. So then sixth switch should be connected to GPIO 13. So double click on this switch and give your name GPIO 13. Click on OK. Now next part is we have to connect 7th switch to GPIO 16. So double click on this pin and give your name GPIO 16. After that we have to once you connected all the switch with Raspberry Pi, now next part is first we arrange this switch. Okay, let's see here. Now next part is you have to connect next terminal of each switch to power supply. So take the common power supply, go to generated mode, then DC, place that DC here. Now go to terminal mode, then default, place default pin here and connect that default pin with your power supply. Then double click on this power supply, give your name, give a voltage to 5 volt. After that give a double click on this pin and give your name power and click OK. After that you have to connect this power to each another pin of switch. So go to again terminal mode, then default, place a default pin to another side of switches. So let's see, we place all the default pin to another side of switch. Right click on this pin, rotate 180 degree. Right click on this pin, rotate 180 degree. Same for all default pin. After that, connect next part of switch to this pin one by one. Then after that, double click on this next part and give your name as it is, power. So let's say power. So do same for all the remaining part, power. So once you have to give all the switch name to power because it should be connected to power. So now we have connected this power to another part of each switches. So in this way we successfully completed our circuit. Now if you want to give box to any switches or any circuit, just go to here, square box, then take a pin, then give make a square box here, then you can give your name for this circuit. So go to A, then again P and type here power supply, then increase the size, click on OK, and you can see power supply present here. So in this way you can give the box for each switches and LCD also and give the name as you want. So after you create all this circuit, please arrange this circuit like this. You can see I have already arranged like this. Now we have to see the programming part of this project. Now we will see the importance of each and every line from this code. So first line is import time. So basically if you want to create some delay in your Raspberry Pi, you require this time library. After that there is import Raspberry Pi .gpi or GPIO pin. So if you want to access any GPIO ports from Raspberry Pi, you need this GPIO library. Then after that import OS. So basically if there is any OS function in your program, you require this OS library. Then from GTTS, import GTTS. So GTTS library is nothing but text to speech library which is used in Python. So next line is import GPIO.set mode GPIO board. Basically Raspberry Pi works as a two method, as a Raspberry Pi board or Raspberry Pi BSM chip. So if you want to use as Raspberry Pi complete board, then you can use this GPIO.board function. Then GPIO.set warning to the false. Basically when you run your code, Raspberry Pi gives you warning that whatever the GPIO pin you have used is already used before. So to avoid that warning, you should use GPIO.set warning to false. Then def speak. So we will see importance of this function later. Then after that e pulse and e delay, it is basically a variable which is required to store some delay, which is required to define some delay in your code. Then after that LCD RS is equal to 7, enable 11, D4 is equal to 12, D5 13, D5 16 15, D7 is 16. Basically all these pins are connected from the LCD. If you see the schematic of this LCD, you can see here, let's say for D4 GPIO 18, we use GPIO 18 pin, and GPIO 18 pin, if you see here on Raspberry Pi, GPIO 18 pin is connected to 12 number. So with this logic you can see D4 is connected to 12 number. So with the same logic we have given pin number to all remaining LCD pin. After that switch 1, switch 2, switch 3 and till switch 7 we have connected 18, 22, 29, 31. That is pin number which are switch connected on that pin. So let's see switch number 1 is equal to 18. So if you see here switch number 1, this switch, and it is 24 number. We have connected this switch to 24 number, and if you check here 24 number is connected to 18 number of Raspberry Pi. So that we have declared here switch 1 is equal to 18. With the same logic, we have given the pin number for remaining switch. So declare that pin as output pin. You have to use this syntax gpio.setMode pin name, then gpio.out. So in this case, all these pins are our output pins. So we have set all this pin here as output pin. So next part is define some device what is the length of your LCD, that is it is 16 by 2 LCD. So that we have selected here LCD width is 16. Then character to LCD command is called. We will see the use of this variable later. Then line number 1 is 18, line number 2 is C0. So if you want to send some signal on LCD on first line, that is 16 by 2, there are two rows, first row and second row. So if you want to send on first row, you can use this syntax LCD 80, and if you want to send some signal, that is some message on second row, you can send C0. So we will see later what is use of this variable. So first line what is executed in program is LCD init function. So you can see LCD init function is here. So here first one is LCD init function. In LCD init function we have to send some command so that our LCD gets work. So this command thing but start the LCD, take the initial to first row only, message should be printed on first row only. All this command you can see, all this command, and you will see you will get details of this command on Google. You can search the LCD command, you can easily find the importance of each and every command. So main important part of this is to how to send this LCD command from Raspberry Pi on your LCD. So there is function lcd.byte. Then you have to pass the command and LCD command. So the LCD command is nothing but the variable we have declared already here, LCD command to the false. So we will see this what is this function. So LCD command, it is jump to this LCD byte. Then after that here is select gpio.output LCD RS pin mode. So what is mode? We have sent here mode as a LCD command. So means this is the command mode. So whenever there is a command mode, you have to select RS pin, and that RS pin should be the Raspberry Pi should send the 0 signal on that RS pin. So you can see LCD command mode, this is variable, and this variable has a value false. So whenever you are sending the command on LCD, you have to send RS to 0, that is RS 0 signal on RS pin. So that we have already created function LCD byte send command and LCD command, this is nothing but 0 automatically send on RS pin with this function gpio.output LCD RS to 0. Then after that we have to send the data. So data is nothing but this is a 8 byte of data. You can see this is 8 byte of data, but in our schematic we use the 4 byte pins, 4 pin. So we have to segregate our data into 4 byte, so that we use another logic. So once this signal 33 number sent to LCD byte, it comes here. Then first part is set the command as a command mode. Then gpio.output, all these our 4 pins should be selected to false by default. D4, D5, D6, D7 should be the false. This means that the 0 signal sent on the LCD D4, D4, D5, D6, D7 by default. Then next line is if bits ending with 0, 1, 0, that is higher byte is equal to 1, 0. So let's say this is 33 number. So first we have to send the 33 number, 33 data or command on LCD. So in 33 we have to first aggregate the higher byte first and then lower byte first. So you can see this is our higher bytes and this is our lower byte. So from the higher byte we have to send the D4 first. So to send the D4 byte first, we have to masking with 1, 0. So after masking with 1, 0, you can see the D4 bits get 1 value. So if that value is 1, then we have to send 1 signal on D4. So that 1 again shifted to the D5, then again masking with 2, 0. And if the value is 2, 0, then we have to send the 1 signal on 5th number of LCD bit. So this logic applied to each and every pin, D6 and D7. So once this higher bits get executed sent on LCD, we have to shift the same logic to the lower bits. So again lower bits we have to send D4 first, then D5, D6 and D7. But in that case the masking is 0 cross 0 1. So we will see the code. So first we are sending 33, then the LCD bytes get here, then 33 mode is command because we are sending command, then GPIO.output LCD RS pin to the mode, that is mode is command, that is 0, that means 0 signal send on the RS pin. Then by default we have to send the 0 signal on each and every pin, D4, D5, D6, D7. After that we are checking is first bit masking with 10 is equal to 10. If 10, then we have to send D4 to the true. If that is not equal to 10, then we have to already send false signal from here. Then second bytes from the higher bits 20. If this value is 20 after masking, then we have to send D5 to true. Then third byte 40, then D6 to true, and then last byte D7 byte. If masking is 80, then we have to send D7 to true. If any of this condition false, then we already send the false signal. So once you send the higher signal, you have to toggle the enable pin. So to toggle the enable pin, we are using this logic LCD toggle enable. So in that logic, we have to pass the high-low signal on the enable pin. So to pass the high-low signal, this is the logic. Time.sleep. First we are sending some delay. Then GPIO.output enable pin to a true. So it will send the high signal on enable pin. Then time.sleep to the pulse. Then it is sending some time sleep. Then GPIO.output LCD enable pin to a false. It is sending the 0 signal on LCD enable pin. Then after some delay, so it will toggle the pin. So once you send the higher bits, we have to send the lower bits again. So same logic will apply. First we have to send the 0 signal on each and every pins D4, D5, D6. Then again masking with 0, 1. So in this case is 0, 1. We are first masking it 1, 0 because it's higher bit, and this is the lower bit because this is lower bit, we have to send 0, 1. So if the value is 0, 1, then we have to send LCD D4 pin to the true value. Same for the D5, D6, D7. So in this case, we are sending the data on LCD pin. After sending the data lower bits, we have to again toggle the pin with a toggle function. So this is the basic idea behind how to send the data on LCD. So once LCD get initialized, the next part is we have to send the welcome function, welcome message on LCD line number 1. So we have already defined LCD line number 1 variable, which is nothing but the 0 value. So LCD.string welcome. So welcome is nothing but the array. So each array is divided into again 1 byte with their index. So index 0 contain W, index 1 contain E, L contain second index, then C. So this iteration we will do by the for loop. So first go to the LCD string function. So inside LCD string function there is a message that is welcome and line is line number 1. So first we have to calculate the width of that message with this function. So once you calculate the width, we have to tell LCD that this message has to print on line number 1 by using this command, line command. So line command get execute with LCD byte. Same logic will execute. Then next is we have to iterate the welcome message. To iterate the welcome message, we will use for loop for I in the range of LCD width. So I is not starting with 0 and it incrementing 1, 2, 3, 4 till LCD width. What will be the length of this message? So let's say first I is equal to 0. So LCD byte function get execute with parameter message of I. So I is 0, then message of I is 0, nothing but the W. Then LCD character. Then we are passing the character to the LCD byte. So that LCD with so that RS pin set to 1, and then our message get print. Once the W is sent on the LCD, we have to send the E. So I increment to 1, then E will send, and same with the same logic, all the message send on the LCD. Now, okay, after that LCD string welcome gets printed on so first welcome string print on LCD. After that we will clear that LCD by using this command. Then we give some delay. Then after that LCD string give input. It is again string which is present on the LCD, which is print on LCD. Then again some delay 1 second. Then we have declared one variable, that is speak data, and which has initial value to null. There is no value for speak data initially. After that you can see while one loop get execute. In Python there is no main loop like C. So if you want to declare a main loop in Python, you have to use while one command. So inside while one, whatever the code present, it will execute for infinite number of time. So once while one get execute, first line is GPIO.input switch 1. So here we are checking the switch 1 is pressed or not by using this command gpr.input switch 1. So once switch is pressed, this switch 1 data variable get 1 value, and if switch is not pressed, this switch 1 data get 0 value. For same logic, we are checking the uh, input state for switch 2. So if switch 2 is pressed, then 1 data is stored into switch 2 data variable. If switch 2 is not pressed, then 0 data gets stored into switch 2 data variable. With the same logic, we are sensing the return value of each and every switch 1 to switch 6, because in Braille pattern we have six switches. So once you taken the all the states from each and every switch, like switch 1, switch 2, switch 3, and with respect to data is switch 1 data, switch 2 data, we have to check the pattern. So you can see here for a pattern in Braille alphabet, for a switch 1 need to press. So in if condition we are checking here, switch 1 data is equal to 1. So equal to 1 means switch 1 is pressed, and after that switch 1 is pressed, we have to store speak data variable to a value. So a value gets stored into the speak data variable once only the switch 1 is pressed. So with respect to that logic, if consider switch 1 data is equal to 1 and switch 2 data is equal to 1. So in our schematic you can see here, this is a Braille keyboard, and if you press switch 1 and switch 2, then in Braille pattern you can see for B, switch 1 and switch 2 is pressed. So that in code we have checked switch 1 data is equal to 1 for switch 1 data, and switch 2 data also is equal to 1. So both this data is 1, then we have to store speak data variable to C value, so B value. So with the same logic we have declare all the alphabet logic one by one. So you can check that later. If you want to download this code, download this code from the Google Drive link. That link present in the description. So once all the data gets stored into the speak data, the next switch is 7 number switch. So if 7 number switch is pressed, that is gpr.input 7 number switch pressed. If S pressed, then we have to character speak string on LCD, so that we will use this function. After that we have to print whatever the speak data value. So speak data value should be print as a string on a LCD. So again we will use same function, LCD string speak data value. Then after that we have to that Python need to speak that data. So if Python need to speak that data, we have to call this function, and in speak function we have to pass the speak data. So if once this function get hit, then this function gets called def speak data. After that in this function we are passing the speak data value. So let's say a alphabet need to speak by the Python, then a value gets stored into data, then a data gets stored into my text, then language we set English. Then this is the function which is used to speak that data from the Python program. So this os.system, first the data value gets stored into welcome1 mp3 file, then file need to play. So if you want to play that file, you have to use os.system function and welcome1.mp3. So after that whatever the speak data value must speak by the Raspberry Pi. So this is the basic logic behind this program.